People are watching you, not because you're flashy, but because your presence is different. You walk into a room and the energy shifts. Strangers stare, conversations pause, and even when no one says a word, you feel it. It's not your imagination, it's recognition. When you carry something rare, spiritual clarity, inner peace, silent strength, it shows. You're not ordinary, you're marked. And whether people understand it or not, they sense it. Some are inspired, some are uncomfortable, but almost everyone notices. This isn't about paranoia, it's about purpose. In this message, you'll find 7 signs that confirm the truth your spirit already knows. You're not invisible. You're chosen, and the world can feel it. If you've ever felt like someone is silently watching over you, don't be quick to dismiss it. For those with a divine calling, your presence isn't limited to the physical world. It echoes in spirit and energy. This isn't surveillance in the worldly sense. It's something deeper. It's spiritual. It's sacred. The moment your spiritual awakening began, the moment you stepped into the path God set for you, you became a beacon. A veil was lifted, and suddenly you could sense more, and others could sense you. You don't fade into the background. You stand out, even when you try not to. Your energy carries a frequency that's uncommon, unmistakable, and it shifts the atmosphere. When you enter a space, the energy changes, not because you're seeking attention, but because of who you are. Chosen ones carry a spiritual mark, and that mark draws attention. Some of those watchers come from the divine, angels, ancestors, and guides assigned by the Most High to walk with you. You may have already felt their presence, in peaceful silence or in the middle of chaos. A warm touch during prayer, a whisper when no one's around. That's real. That's spiritual observation. And it doesn't stop there. People in the physical realm are drawn to you too. Some know it, most don't. Your presence stirs something in them. Sometimes admiration, sometimes inspiration, and sometimes insecurity or envy. They may not understand it, but they feel it. They don't need your backstory. Your spirit speaks before you do. That's why strangers stare. That's why rooms shift when you enter. It's not your looks, it's your essence. And as you grow spiritually, you'll start noticing it more. You'll feel when someone is thinking about you, talking about you, or even praying for you, regardless of distance. For the chosen, the veil is thin. You're naturally spiritually sensitive, and that sensitivity is both a gift and a responsibility. Not all observers mean harm. Some are meant to support you from afar. They study your journey for strength, for direction. They may never say a word, but they're watching. They see how you keep rising, how your light stays on, no matter how dark it gets. But yes, some observe from a place of jealousy or bitterness, and you'll feel that too. Still, know this: no one can touch what God has covered. You're not only being watched, you're being protected. The spiritual realm is active around those with purpose. As you step deeper into your calling, more eyes will turn toward you, not to frighten you, but to make you aware. You were never meant to walk unseen. Have you ever felt that shift? The sense that someone's paying attention when no one is near. That chill in the air, that warm presence in silence. That's not your imagination. That's confirmation. When you truly accept your role as one of the chosen, you stop fearing the watchers. Instead, you begin to understand their purpose. Some are here to learn, some are here to test, and some are here to help carry your mission. And remember, when God chooses you, He assigns others to walk with you. Some you'll meet, some you won't. But the presence is real. You are never walking alone. Now that you understand why you're being silently observed, it's time to recognize the clear signs surrounding you. These moments are not random. They are proof that you are walking the path of a chosen one. Let's begin with the first sign. Sign 1. Random people often stare at you. Have you ever wondered, why do people keep staring at me like that? Not just a passing glance, but a long, quiet look. You're not dressed to stand out. You're not doing anything special. Yet somehow, eyes keep finding you. You feel it. The weight of a gaze, a silent pull of attention you didn't ask for. If that's familiar, here's what it means. You're being watched, not just with eyes, but on an energetic, spiritual level. As a chosen one, you don't need to speak for people to feel you. Your energy speaks first. The frequency you carry isn't common. It can't be hidden. It shifts the space around you. People feel it, even if they don't know how to explain it. This world is used to surface-level appeal, but it's not used to true spiritual light walking in human form. That's what you carry. You are someone who's been through fire and still walks with peace. Your soul holds a kind of silent strength that comes from pain, growth, and endurance. That presence, the one you may not even notice yourself, is what draws eyes toward you. Not your beauty, your essence. Some people look because they're drawn to your light. Others stare because your energy calls out their own imbalance. Your authenticity shakes loose the masks they wear. Whether it's admiration, envy, or confusion, they look and they keep looking. And yes, this can make you feel isolated. You might start to doubt yourself. Did I do something wrong? But the truth is, it's not something wrong. It's something rare. You're not being judged. You're being recognized. Spirit sees spirit. Many people have never encountered raw spiritual energy in real life, but they feel it in you. That's why children lock eyes with you. That's why animals stay calm around you. They don't overthink it. They simply feel the truth. Even those who are slightly spiritually aware may pause when you enter a room. Some will smile. Others just quietly watch. Some may look at you with conflicted emotions, because your light makes them question their own shadows. Let that be what it is. Don't shrink. Let them watch. Let them wonder. In a noisy world filled with distractions, your stillness speaks volumes. You influence not just through what you say, but through how you exist. This isn't ego, it's clarity. You were created to stand out, not fit in. You've been spiritually marked, and the world around you feels it. Think back. Have you noticed more people staring since your spiritual awakening? Long glances, familiar faces appearing again and again in different places. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Your light is intensifying. Your spiritual authority is rising. And the world, seen and unseen, is responding. Some of those faces aren't random. Some are drawn to you because you awaken something in them, something they've buried or forgotten. Your presence reminds them of their own soul. If you've been experiencing this, don't ignore it. Acknowledge it. Type 111. If you've felt the gaze of strangers or sensed eyes on you without reason, you're not alone. Others are feeling it too. Let them look. Let them wonder. You weren't born to hide. You were born to shine, even in silence. Your presence is a message. Your energy is a revelation. And even when you say nothing, your soul is speaking. This is just the beginning. The watchers are real, and each sign that follows will show you more of why. Sign 2. People seem to know things about you, even when you've never told them. Have you ever been caught off guard when someone says something that feels too accurate, like they just tapped into your private thoughts or unspoken plans? Maybe it was a passing comment, a random question, or a moment that made you pause and think, how do they know that? Deep down, you sense it's not just coincidence. It feels like you've been read without saying a word. This is the second sign. It means your energy is speaking for you, loudly. Whether you realize it or not, You're radiating something others are picking up on. When you're chosen, your presence extends beyond the physical. Your energy precedes you. It communicates before you say a word. And certain people, especially those spiritually tuned in, receive those signals, consciously or not. They may not be trying to observe you, but they feel you. They sense your inner world, your emotions, even your intentions. Sometimes they reflect it back without knowing why. That awareness can feel strange, even invasive, but it's part of your spiritual visibility. Your soul isn't hiding, and your energy doesn't go unnoticed. As your spiritual sensitivity grows, so does your reach. You might notice people echoing your language, expressing your ideas, or repeating phrases you thought were just your own. They may post thoughts you've been journaling, speak about things you've been quietly contemplating. They might give you advice that fits your current challenge exactly, without knowing anything about your situation. No, you're not imagining it. You're influencing your environment at a frequency most people don't understand, but they're responding to it nonetheless. You might see familiar faces showing up in different places, or strangers referencing topics close to your heart. These are not accidents. Some people are drawn to your light because it stirs something within them, a memory of who they once were, or a glimpse of who they're becoming. Your presence reconnects them to their own spirit. Others are unconsciously curious about your peace, your strength, your ability to navigate life without losing your soul. And even though they can't name it, they're magnetized by it. In truth, when you are walking in your divine alignment, your life becomes a reflection, one that shows others where they are, where they're lacking, or where they hope to be. You don't need to speak your truth out loud for others to feel its presence. Your energy reveals it for you. If this is happening to you, don't be afraid. Don't withdraw. Recognize it. You are spiritually visible, and that's not a weakness, it's a confirmation. Comment 777 if you've experienced this type of recognition from others. That number signifies divine protection and spiritual presence. It's your sign that you're being seen not with judgment, but with purpose. You're not being exposed, you're being revealed. Because the light you carry was never meant to stay hidden, and whether others admit it or not, your truth is resonating with them on a level deeper than words. Sign 3. You receive sudden protection or help at just the right time. Think back for a moment. Have you ever faced a situation that could have gone terribly wrong, but somehow it didn't? Maybe you narrowly avoided an accident, made a last-minute decision that saved you heartache, or received unexpected help just when you needed it most. These aren't lucky breaks, they are signs. And if this has been happening to you more than once, it's not random. This is the third sign. Divine protection is surrounding you, and it reveals itself in the form of perfect timing, unexpected guidance, or quiet redirection. When you are chosen, you are not walking alone. You are being watched over, spiritually covered, guided, and protected. And this protection doesn't always look dramatic. Often it's subtle. You don't see the danger. You don't hear the warning. You just don't go. Or the door closes. Or someone calls you at the right moment, pulling you out of a thought you shouldn't be following. Sometimes it's a delay that frustrates you, until you realize later that it saved you. Sometimes it's a rejection that stings, only to find out it was divine redirection. You may not have prayed that day. You may not have been expecting help. And yet something stepped in, something bigger than you. This is the spiritual realm in action. It's divine timing, divine presence, divine covering. Chosen ones carry something sacred, something too important to be left unguarded. That's why your path is often protected from things you weren't even aware were threatening you. There are angels assigned to your journey, interventions arranged in silence, watchers placed around you who move on command when your destiny is at risk. And they don't need applause. They don't wait for you to notice. They simply act. Sometimes help comes in human form. A stranger who offers support, a friend who senses your need without you saying a word, a message that appears just when your spirit is on the edge. These moments aren't accidents. They're reminders. You are being seen. You are being supported. You are not alone. The protection you carry doesn't mean life is painless. It means even your pain is purposeful. The difference is you're always brought through, always preserved, always stronger on the other side. You may not always feel safe, but somehow you're always sustained. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have you almost fallen apart, but something held you together? How many times did things look like they would fall through, only for something better to show up? These aren't coincidences. This is divine strategy. If you've experienced moments like this, if you've received unexpected protection or timely help, comment 444 below. That number represents divine covering and angelic presence. Let it be your reminder. You're not doing this on your own. Your life is under watch. Your mission is sacred. And heaven defends what heaven assigns. Whether you see it or not, you're surrounded. Sign 4. You feel a spiritual presence when you're alone. There are moments when you're alone. No sound, no movement, yet you feel something. It's not fear, but it's not nothing either. It's a presence, a shift in the air, a tingling in your skin. Maybe the hairs on your arms rise, or you suddenly feel warmth, or an overwhelming calm washes over you. You look around, but no one is there. And still, you know, you're not alone. This is the 4th sign. When you're chosen, your solitude becomes sacred. And that's when spiritual presence draws near. Chosen ones are deeply sensitive to the unseen. You're like a receiver, picking up signals that others miss. During quiet moments, when you're praying, journaling, meditating, or simply sitting still, your energy becomes clearer, louder in the spirit realm. That's when watchers arrive, not to invade, but to observe, to protect, and sometimes to communicate. Some of these presences are divine, angels, ancestors, spiritual guides who've been assigned to walk with you. You may not see them, but you feel them. A soft peace when you should feel chaos. A deep stillness when your heart is racing. A knowing without explanation. These are confirmations. These are visitations. These are signs that you are being spiritually supported. But not all presence feels light. Sometimes, especially during intense spiritual growth, you may also sense something heavier. A discomfort, a tension, the feeling of being watched, but not in love, in resistance. This too is real, because as your light grows, it disrupts the darkness. The enemy takes notice. Energies that once ignored you now feel threatened by your expansion. And their presence may try to distract, confuse, or plant doubt. That's why discernment is vital. You must learn to recognize what is light and what is not. One brings peace, the other brings pressure. One affirms, the other disturbs. When you sense presence in solitude, don't run, don't suppress it. Tune in, ask, is this presence divine or deceptive? Your spirit knows. You've been given the tools to sense the truth. And here's what's powerful. Even the darkness must respect divine law. It may observe you, but it cannot harm you without permission. And permission has not been granted. When you walk under divine covering, your spiritual awareness is not a vulnerability. It's a gift, a warning system, a sacred radar. If you've ever sat alone and felt something stir around you, felt a chill or a calming warmth that you couldn't explain, you're not imagining things. You're spiritually aware. And that awareness is part of your assignment. It's how heaven stays close. It's how guidance comes. It's how you're reminded you're never actually alone. If this resonates with you, if you felt unseen energy during still moments, comment 777 below. That number represents divine alignment and spiritual presence. Let it be your affirmation. I am aware, I am protected, and I am spiritually awake. The presence you feel in your solitude is not meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you that you've been chosen, seen, and spiritually guarded, even when no one else is in the room. Sign 5. People start to imitate you, even if they don't know you. Personally, have you noticed it yet? People around you, maybe even strangers, start using the same phrases you use. They adopt your tone, your mindset, your style. They post thoughts that mirror what you've been thinking. They repeat messages you've shared, even though you never said them to them directly. At first, it feels strange. Then it starts to happen more often. And soon you realize your energy is spreading, and others are catching it. This is the 5th sign. When you are chosen, your presence influences people quietly and deeply. Your energy speaks louder than your words, and others begin to mirror what they feel in you. You don't need a platform. You don't need a title. You don't even need their recognition. The way you move through life, the strength you show, the peace you hold, the truth you carry, leaves an imprint. Even when you're silent, even when you're unseen, people feel it, and they try to replicate it. Some imitate because your energy makes them feel something they want to feel themselves. Confidence, clarity, centeredness. They may not understand what it is, but they sense it's powerful. Your authenticity calls something awake in others, and that's why they start echoing you, even unknowingly. You'll start to hear your own language come back to you in conversations. You'll notice people posting content that reflects your thought patterns. You may even find people shifting their personal style to match yours. It might look like flattery, but it's deeper than that. It's evidence that your spirit is speaking, even when your mouth is not. And yes, sometimes it feels unfair, especially when you've been ignored, dismissed, or overlooked for saying things others later repeat and get credit for. That can sting. But hear this clearly. Your impact isn't measured by credit. It's measured by transformation. You weren't sent here to be praised. You were sent to plant seeds. And you're doing that every time someone grows from something they first felt through you. What you carry can't be copied. It comes from within. It was forged in fire, not borrowed from trend. Others may mimic the surface, but they can't duplicate your source. They don't know the cost of your peace. They didn't live your journey. That's why your vibration hits differently. You may find people constantly returning to your space, your page, your voice, your words. They don't always comment. They may never speak up, but they absorb, they observe, and they shift quietly because of you. If you've seen this happening, people subtly reflecting your energy, your message, your voice, comment 555 below. That number symbolizes spiritual influence and transformation. It's a sign that you are creating change just by being aligned with your true self. Don't let the silence fool you. Your energy is working. Your essence is reaching beyond what your eyes can see. And whether they admit it or not, people are being moved by your presence. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need credit to be effective. You were called to lead, not through control, but through authenticity. And you are. Sign 6. You sense a spiritual presence. During deep spiritual work, there's a unique kind of stillness that only happens when you're alone with your spirit, during prayer, meditation, journaling, or quiet reflection. You're focused, present, tuned in. But suddenly you feel it, a shift, a subtle presence in the room. You pause. Maybe the air thickens. Maybe your skin tingles. Or maybe it's just a deep, unexplainable knowing. I'm not alone right now. This is the 6th sign. When you engage in spiritual work, you activate spiritual awareness, and that draws presence, both divine and otherwise, closer to you. As a chosen one, when you step into sacred space, when your heart opens, your intention aligns, and your energy stabilizes, you create a signal in the unseen realm. It's not just you sitting in silence. It's your spirit reaching outward. Your vibration sharpens. And that frequency attracts attention. Some of that attention comes from light. Divine beings, angels, ancestors, spirit guides, are drawn to your energy. They are assigned to walk with you, guide you, and affirm you. You may not hear them speak, but their presence is felt. A warmth in your chest, a breath of peace, a quiet sense of safety. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. Your spiritual moments are not being ignored. They are being witnessed. Every time you speak truth into the silence, every time you pour your heart out in prayer, the spiritual realm responds. You're not just talking to the air, you're being heard. And that response often comes through presence, one that you feel even when no one else is there. But not every presence is pure. Some watchers arrive from the shadows, drawn not by admiration, but disruption. The more aligned you are, the more your light exposes darkness. Your spiritual progress threatens spiritual resistance. That's why, during prayer or deep reflection, you might sometimes feel a heaviness, a chill, or distracting thoughts. This is interference, and it means your power is working. That's why discernment is essential. Light brings peace. Darkness brings confusion. Light brings clarity. Darkness brings static. Learn to tell the difference, not with fear, but with awareness. Your spirit knows. You've been given the sensitivity to recognize what belongs and what doesn't. And remember, nothing can harm you without permission. The veil may be thin, but the covering over your life is thick. You are not just spiritually visible. You are spiritually protected. You walk in authority. And when you declare peace, peace answers. Sometimes the presence you feel is a message. Sometimes it's just a witness. But it's always an invitation to trust. Trust that your spiritual connection is real. Trust that you're not making it up. Trust that what you feel is truth. If you felt this, if your spiritual work is often accompanied by a sense of something bigger in the room, comment 777 below. That number represents divine presence and sacred alignment. Let it remind you that your spiritual walk is seen, heard, and guided. You were never meant to pray alone. Never meant to grow in silence without support. The next time you feel something near during your sacred time, don't question it. Acknowledge it. Honor it. Because your presence in the spirit is drawing presence in return. And that's part of your power. Sign 7. People are quietly inspired by you but never tell you. There's something deeply humbling and often frustrating about being the one others admire in silence. You walk through life doing your best to grow, to heal, to keep showing up. You don't boast. You don't seek praise. But still, people notice. They watch. They take in your strength, your consistency, your quiet resilience, and they're changed by it. But you don't always hear it from them. In fact, most of the time, they never say a word. This is the 7th sign. Your life is quietly inspiring others, even when no one acknowledges it. You are impacting people on a level they may never speak about, but they feel it, and it stays with them. Chosen ones often live like silent catalysts. You walk into a room and shift the atmosphere, not with noise, but with presence. You face trials, and somehow still carry grace. You keep going, and people take note, even if they act like they don't. You might not have a crowd cheering you on. You might not get likes, shares, applause, or affirmation. But behind closed doors, in conversations you'll never hear, your name comes up, not out of gossip, but out of reflection. There's something about them. I don't know how they keep going. They've been through so much, but they still have peace. And they carry that thought with them, quietly. Maybe it helps them get through their own struggle. Maybe it gives them permission to heal. Maybe it gives them the courage to start over. Whatever it is, you're making impact far beyond what your eyes can see. The most inspired ones are often the most silent. Their pride won't let them tell you. Their ego may keep them from showing support. But their spirit feels you. And sometimes, that's more honest than words. This is why you may feel unseen, unsupported, or even forgotten. But don't mistake silence for absence. Your light is working in the shadows. Your journey is speaking louder than you think. And people are watching, not to judge, but to learn. You don't need credit to be effective. You don't need applause to be powerful. Your life is a message. Your walk is a mirror. Your energy is a seed. And even when no one says thank you, the ripple effect of your presence keeps moving outward. If you've ever felt like people were drawing from your strength without ever acknowledging it, comment 888 below. That number represents spiritual abundance and hidden influence. Let it be your reminder. Just because they don't say it doesn't mean you haven't changed their life. You were chosen to move souls, not crowds, and you're doing exactly that. Now that you've walked through these 7 powerful signs, take a breath. Not just to pause, but to receive. Because this isn't just a summary. This is confirmation, a reminder of what you carry, why you've been seen, and who you truly are. If any part of you ever doubted your role, ever questioned why you felt watched, followed, mirrored, or supported without asking, this is your answer. You are not here by accident. You are not invisible. You are chosen. You weren't built to blend in. You weren't made to walk unnoticed. You were marked. Spiritually, energetically, divinely. That mark doesn't make your life easier, but it makes it meaningful. It draws attention, protection, resistance, and recognition. You are being watched, not just by people, but by realms. Not out of judgment, but out of purpose. Some are watching to learn from you, some to be guided, some to be reminded that light still exists in a dark world. Others are watching because your presence disrupts what they've been hiding from. Your very existence is an activation. So don't shrink. Don't question your instincts. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Your life is a living message. And even when no one speaks it, heaven sees everything. You've been protected when you didn't know it. You've been affirmed without the words. You've been imitated without the credit. And you've been inspiring people who never told you. Let them look. Let them wonder. Let them be moved in silence. You keep walking. Keep rising. Keep shining. Keep listening to the inner voice that tells you you're not like the rest, because you weren't meant to be. If every part of your spirit says yes to what you've read, if you feel seen, aligned, and awakened, declare it. Comment. Chosen one rising below. Say it boldly. Say it like you mean it. Say it because it's already happening. You're rising. In power, in clarity, in truth. And as you rise, the right people will recognize it. The right support will find you. The right doors will open. Because chosen ones are never truly alone. You're not ordinary. You're not forgotten. You're not hidden. You are divinely protected, spiritually seen, eternally marked. Walk like it.